Profiles, what's going on with y'all, man? Make sure y'all like, sub, share, comment on the video, donate to the Cash App, PayPal if you're feeling generous, man. Another update on Pitbull. I talked to him this morning. They had already moved his ass once for fighting. Right now he's been in 3 more fights at this new pod. He's been at upstairs, and they then came to him and said, if you get into another fight, then your ass to go into the hole till you go to the penitentiary. So I told his ass to be smooth. I talked to him because he don't tell me about shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say, I'm like, what's going on? He's like, well, I got in a fight the other day. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, oh, the damn TV. You know what I'm saying? He talking about he want to watch goddamn sports. Niggas in that bitch trying to watch love and basketball and shit. He gonna go up there and unplug the TV and goddamn fade the clutch 3 folks and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Why was it 3 beats? I'm bumping like Mortal Kombat, DC. I'm telling you. I'm like, all right, man, I told his ass he need to be smooth, man. Now today, we have a prisoner whom has just been indicted for a second hit sent from behind an Alabama Department of Corrections maximum security fence. Let's hop right into that right now, shall we? Criminal history. Demarcus Chandler and Timothy Smith are charged with robbery and kidnapping in the May 1st, 2014 robbery at a Birmingham McDonald's. 2 men, including a teen, have been formally charged in last week's armed robbery at a Birmingham McDonald's. Demarcus Chandler, 16, and Timothy Smith, 22, are each charged with 3 counts of kidnapping, 3 counts of robbery in the May 1st holdup, said Birmingham Police Robbery Sergeant Patrick Crosby. They both remain in the Jefferson County Jail on Tuesday. Police received a call just before 11 p.m. on Thursday, May 1st, that robbers were inside the business. The call came from a citizen on a cell phone. According to arrest affidavits, Chandler and Mitchell were robbing the restaurant of $147. 3 employees inside were held against their will and threatened with violence during the holdup. Officers rushed to the scene and surrounded the restaurant. Chandler and Smith eventually surrendered and were taken into custody. No shots were fired and there were no injuries. Quote, "It turned out really good," police spokesman Lieutenant Sean Edwards said following the robbery. Quote, "It was great work by the citizen who called." Mr. Chandler, who this episode is about, would go on to be sentenced to 20 years on this case and would go on to be paroled just after a couple years within the Alabama Department of Corrections, presumably before the age of 21, which leads us up to his next case. Family hostage situation. A 21-year-old man accused of holding 4 family members, including children, hostage overnight in East Birmingham, was convicted in kidnapping of robbery crimes when he was just 16. Demarcus Chandler was taken into custody early Tuesday afternoon after a nearly 4-hour standoff on Roebuck Drive. Later Tuesday, authorities charged him with 3 counts of first-degree kidnapping, attempted murder, second-degree domestic assault, and certain persons prohibited from possessing a firearm. His bonds totaled $285K. Birmingham East Precinct officers responded at 10:30 p.m. Monday to a home in the 500 block of Roebuck Drive. Police spokesman Sergeant Johnny Williams said the officers were dispatched on a domestic incident. When they arrived on the scene, they found an older female who had managed to escape the house. There were, however, still 3 other relatives being held against their will inside the home. 2 of the hostages were 17 and the other was 11. Police learned shots had been fired inside the home. No one was hurt. By 12:30 a.m. Tuesday, all the hostages were out of the home. The older woman who initially called police was the first to escape, and then a second hostage also made a getaway. The suspect allowed the remaining 2 hostages to leave. Police were not able to make contact, however, with Chandler for several hours. A hostage negotiator was brought in and Chandler surrendered shortly before 2 a.m. Nearby residents had been evacuated during the ordeal. Court records show Chandler was arrested on June 5th on felony charges of domestic violence, strangulation/suffocation, and receiving stolen property. He was then charged with 6 counts of probation violation in connection with crimes he committed back in 2014. These crimes happened in May 2014 at Birmingham McDonald's. Police received a call, blah, blah, blah. According to arrest affidavits, they only got $147. Chandler pleaded guilty to 3 counts of kidnapping and 3 counts of robbery and was sentenced to 20 years in prison with 5 to serve. So he would serve 5, come out Just 421, right? He was released from state prison at the end of his sentence on April 23, or 35% then. When he was arrested on new charges and probation violations in June, he was initially held without bond. He was then granted bond after his attorney argued he did not pose a danger to himself or others and would adhere to any and all conditions of his bond. On July 26, Jefferson County Circuit Court Judge Michael Streety noted in court documents Chandler had been placed on electronic monitoring. His curfew hours were from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. so that he could search for a job. On August 1st, Streety issued a warrant for his arrest, stating he violated his probation and ordered he be held on no bond once arrested. He was already set to appear in court Wednesday on a probation revocation hearing. Again, Chandler would go back to prison. Present day. A state prison inmate awaiting trial in the alleged murder for hire of his on-again, off-again girlfriend in a Birmingham park is now accused in a second contract killing in the city. Demarcus Chandler is 26, charged with conspiracy to commit murder, discharging a firearm into a building, and discharging a firearm into a vehicle. Also charged with the same crimes is Justin Jamon Hendricks, a 20-year-old Birmingham man who was recently charged with murder in the unrelated live stream killing of Asia Poole last month at an East Birmingham apartment complex. Authorities contend Chandler plotted the, quote, hits, one in 2020 and another last month, from behind bars. The new charges against Chandler and Hendricks were made public this week. Chandler, who has an extensive criminal history dating back to when he was just 16, is serving time in Holman Correctional Facility after being sent back to prison in 2019 for violating his parole in previous violent crimes and new cases. Chandler is accused of plotting Hendricks to kill a man whose identity was not released in court records. The intended victim was not injured. The gunfire happened at 2 a.m. on August 20th at a home in eastern Birmingham. Charging documents state shots were fired into a residence and an SUV. It took place in the early morning of Tuesday, the same day that Poole would go on to be killed later that night. Chandler, however, is not charged in Poole's slaying, and authorities say the murder and attempted murder were unrelated, with the only commonality being that Hendricks is charged in both. Hendricks, one of the 5 people charged in Poole's death, remains held without bond in the Jefferson County Jail. In the 2020 case, authorities accused Chandler of hiring 26-year-old Solomon Minetti to kill Raven Swain for $8,000. Both are charged with capital murder in Swain's slaying. Swain was shot to death July 28, 2020 in Birmingham's Underwood Park on the city's south side. The shooting happened just after 7 p.m. that Tuesday night. Swain was found unresponsive in her Hyundai Sonata, which has apparently rolled into foliage after she was shot. She was slumped over in the driver's seat, leaning toward the passenger seat. Her window was rolled down, and she had been shot under her left arm, with bullets penetrating her heart and lungs. Swain was pronounced dead on the scene. Detectives recovered Swain's cell phone from her vehicle after her death. The Department of Corrections, at the request of police, searched Chandler's cell and recovered a contraband cell phone. After obtaining search warrant for the phones and examining them, a detective testified they found multiple phone calls in minutes before and after Swain's death to one number that they later determined to be the cell phone used by Minetti. Technology placed that phone to have been in the area of the Underwood Park at the time of Swain's killing. Police had previously testified Chandler and Minetti swapped a flurry of text messages via text and Facebook before and after the shooting. 3 people told detectives Chandler had reached out to them from St. Clair Correctional Facility via Facebook or text in the moments after Swain was killed. In one of the messages he wrote, quote, "Your sister has been shot. You need to go find her in the park by Southtown," unquote. To another person he communicated from prison, quote, "She got what she deserved," unquote. Chandler is set to go to trial in 2025 in Swain's death. He has an October court date set for the new conspiracy to commit murder charge. And there y'all have it, man. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section, man. So your cell phone done been used for evil, you know what I'm saying? That's why they trying to get them up out of there, not only to not have their misconduct be filmed and shown to the world, but to prevent rare incidents such as this where somebody sends a hit and it's carried out on the street, you know what I'm saying, from behind the Department of Corrections. Now, clearly, Mr. Chandler went to prison at an early age and was clearly molded by the Department of Corrections, and pretty much continued that behavior when he came back out, and is when he's gone back in. You know what I'm saying? He pretty much has nothing to lose. Even more now, he can't go anywhere. You send one hit from St. Clair and another one from Holman's, top 3 worst places in the state. You know what I'm saying? Top 4. I mean, where else you gonna send him? Craziness. And as y'all saw, I included that, bro. It's a Crip from his little scars, marks, and tattoos, right? What's going on with cuz and them, man? Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section, man. DC The Voice, Alabama Prisoner Profiles. Like, sub, share, comment, donate to the Cash App.